Hello, friends and fellow board gamers. Welcome back to Board Games with Rob. And man, I am beyond the moon excited to announce a huge giveaway that we're doing here on the channel to a lucky viewer. And I've got to first, right out of the gate, extend a very, very big thank you to Dan Hallagan over at Kayenta Games. Now, Dan, as many of you may or may not know, I didn't know about this game. It didn't hit my radar until probably within the last year, and I only got to play it within the last several weeks, about a month ago. The game I'm talking about is Obsession, and it's aptly named because I'm obsessed with Obsession. I can't believe I let this slip under my radar. And I've got to admit, if I had been told that there was a game about Downton Abbey, and I'm not mocking those that like Downton Abbey or that kind of genre, but that's typically not what would attract me to a game. Now, I didn't see this game or know nothing about it. I'd heard that there was a game somewhat based on that theme. But my wife is a huge Downton Abbey fan, and I've gone and I've seen all the movies with her in the theater on date nights, and so I was really excited about getting this to the table. But I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself. I want to extend a very very heartfelt thank you to Dan Hallagan, the owner of Kayenta Games, that publishing company that put this game out. Without him, I wouldn't be able to put this on. I reached out to him just to kind of introduce myself, explain to him the origins of Board Games with Rob, and see if there was anything I could do, little old me, to help him out. And, he doesn't need helping. In fact, the game's huge in the board gaming community. And so let me actually share the Kickstarter page on this game. And as you can see, it came out in 2018 and it's rated 8.1 is the average rating, and that's with 16,000 ratings on it. It's got just dummy me, I didn't realize that Dan actually did the artwork on this. But here's some pictures. These are the deluxe coins, the footprint. I mean, the meeples of all the different servants. I kind of talked to you about it being a game loosely based on Downton Abbey being a theme, but this reaches out to all of my board gaming heartstrings in that it's a worker placement game with Euro mechanics that is just amazing. What else can I tell you about? Here's the description on it. But you're really you've got all these different actions that you can do. Everybody starts out with the same action tiles. Let me see if I can find yeah, you're gonna have these basic action tiles that only certain of the servants can activate. And so the whole game's about upgrading these tiles and getting more servants, and it's just the gameplay is just amazing. And um look at the artwork too, and these cards are all real nice and fancy, and all the it's just very thematic and just a very fun game to play. So I had reached, like I said, I had reached out to Dan and wanting to introduce myself. In fact, he had just mainly because he had put this Kickstarter out. Let me show you the Kickstarter here. Now, the Kickstarter is over. Look at this. It made close to $350,000, but you can late pledge. Now, one of the things about this game that's just amazing is there's been all these expansions. They've added more cards and deluxe upgrades, these coins and different families, and so through the course of time there's been a lot of rules change, not necessarily changes, maybe changes, but ways to integrate all these different components and expansions together. And Dan struggled with that from what I understand, and he has recently this Kickstarter was to introduce a rule book that kind of put everything. He hired somebody to create this rule book that definitively integrates everything together in a cohesive way, and and then he's providing a box. This he's calling it the Victorian box. Now, there's a little bit of a story I read about this. Originally, he didn't want to do that. He thought that he had designed the boxes in just a really nice, unique way that would fit certain things. From what I understand, he caved in, you'll have to read more about that yourself. But he he also came up with this really nice huge mat that was in the Kickstarter. Anyway, I had reached out to him, expressing interest and wanting to see if I could help him with that in any way. And he came back and said, "Well, Rob, how can I help you?" And he came up with this idea to send me something to give out to you viewers and to help me out. And I've just not had a lot of people in the industry treat me with that sincere kindness that he has. Now, don't get me wrong. There are there are some that have embraced board games with Rob and that treat me very nicely. But Dan is right there among the top that didn't know me very well and just open, just yeah, I'm a very emotional person, and I'm getting close to being teary-eyed here because this really touched me. So, this is what the giveaway is going to be about. I am, thanks to Dan, going to give away a whole set of Obsession. Everything that you see here, this is all brand new shrunk wrap, and this is exactly the copy that I'm going to be sending a lucky viewer. So here's the base game. This is the downstairs expansion. Again, all wrapped, sealed. This is the characters expansion. Here's the Wessex expansion. Again, you can see it mirroring off the camera because it's sealed. This I heard is really hard to get. Pardon me, get. These are the promo tiles, again sealed, and then oh my gosh, guys, the deluxe coins. I feel like, oh, but wait, there's more, right? But that's it. That is literally everything that's published, with the exception of the Kickstarter. And boy, you can just head on over. I'll have the Kickstarter link in the show notes to let you know how you can late pledge to that to get a box that will fit all of this into it, and get yourself one of the manuals and possibly the big mat if that's your fancy. But, all right, so how do I win all this stuff, you may be asking? Well, folks, it's going to be simple. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is to please subscribe to my channel. I'm at youtube.com/ at Board Games with Rob. In fact, that's probably where you're watching this video. I'll have it up there and be sharing it on a couple different social media sites. I'll need to know what your YouTube ID is. But other than that, all I would like you to do is just email me at contests@boardgameswithrob.com. I'll have that probably right up here. And in that email, send me your YouTube ID, and then visit Dan's Kickstarter page. I'll have a link there in the show notes, and I'll probably have it up here as well. And tell me what the name of the highest pledge on there is. It's real simple. It's one word. I'd like you to take a minute, head on over there, take a look at the pledge levels that he's got, and it's that last one all the way at the bottom, the last tier, and just it's a one word name for that pledge. Let me know what that is. Drop that in an email to contests@boardgameswithrob.com. So I'm going to extend this contest up through the evening of December 5th, going into the 6th, so midnight on December 6th, so 11:59 p.m. the 5th, which is a Friday night, going into midnight on the 6th is when I will stop the contest, and then I will announce the winner on Saturday morning, and I will send that out. I am offering this to people outside the United States. You're more than welcome to register. The only thing I'm going to ask is for shipping. If you're outside the U.S., you can arrange shipping yourself, or I use pirateship.com. You'd be responsible for shipping and any possible duties or tariffs. But within the U.S., I'll pay 100% of the shipping myself. So no, it's not just limited to those in the United States. So yes, again, just email me your YouTube ID so I can validate that you've subscribed to the channel, and folks, and that tier name on the Kickstarter page for Obsession. Again, the link to that will be in the show note, as well as the email. I'll put my email down there. Please share this, like it, comment on it. Tell me what you think about Obsession, what you think about Kayenta Publishing. I've heard a lot of good stories about Dan and the kindness he has expressed to other people that have reason to reach out to him for one reason or another. Not a single bad thing have I heard about him, and I've experienced it myself firsthand. A very stand up, very generous man, and I'm very indebted to him and grateful for his kindness. So that's it. That's one of my first, that's probably the biggest contest I've had to date. And I want to thank you for watching this video. Thank you so, so much. I want you to have fun gaming and more importantly, be kind to one another. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.